Welcome to the interesting world of materials. Every day and everywhere you see, you hear, you smell, you taste, and you feel different objects. There are different objects or materials in our environment that can be classified according to their properties. In this video, you will learn about other properties of materials, such as its ability to absorb water, float or sink, and their rate of decay. After watching this video, you are expected to identify materials that absorb water, float or sink, and undergo decay. Classify materials based on their ability to absorb water, float or sink, or those that undergo decay and don't. And lastly, develop K-12 life skills such as communication, critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and character. Today, I'll be presenting some materials which are going to help you learn and explore objects that can absorb water. Sponge has lots of small holes called pores that enable the air, water, or any liquid to pass through. These pores with connecting fibers allow the liquid or air to soak into its body. It is porous because it has pores all over its body. This makes it absorb as much water as it can. That is why it is absorbent. Next is cotton. Cotton is a porous material because it can easily absorb water. Next is tissue paper. Tissue paper is also an absorbent material. This will soak water when put in a glass of water. However, its body has more small spaces and loose fibers. Paper. It is made from plant materials. It has fiber which is also called cellulose. Water is attracted to it and it likes to be soaked up in it. It is absorbent as well. Absorbent materials like paper are normally seen in objects with a lot of holes which enable liquid to get inside the materials and occupy the spaces in it through capillarity. Capillarity is the special ability of liquid to pass through narrow spaces without the assistance of an external force like gravity. In our next activity, I want you to prepare a piece of paper where you can write your answer. Directions: identify whether the material is porous or non-porous. A glass plate. A glass plate is non-porous and it repels water. A rag. A rag is a porous material and it absorbs water. How about cotton balls? Cotton balls are porous materials. Why are they called porous materials? They are porous because they absorb water. Next is a plastic cup. A plastic cup is non-porous. It is non-porous because it does not absorb water. Umbrella. An umbrella repels water, therefore it is non-porous. With the given materials, let us group them according to their ability to absorb water. The materials are raincoat, pail, coin, sponge, paper, mirror, towel, cotton, umbrella, and handkerchief. Now, which of these materials are porous or those that absorb water? Sponge, paper, towel, cotton, and handkerchief. How about materials that are non-porous or those materials that do not absorb water? They are raincoat, pail, coin, mirror, and umbrella. Let's examine our next set of materials. This is a glass that cannot absorb water. It is non-porous. Look at its body structure. It is compact. It does not allow much air to flow and it does not absorb water. Hence, it is non-absorbent. It is cellophane. It is common in the plastic family. It is lightweight and flexible. Water is repelled by plastic and it cannot absorb water. Have you ever wondered why some things float and others sink? Today, let us explore on the things that float or sink. Everything around us is made of tiny microscopic particles known as molecules. Some objects have molecules that are packed tightly together, while others are loosely packed. Objects with tightly packed molecules, such as in marbles, have a higher density compared to objects with loosely packed molecules, such as in a ping pong ball. Now, what is density? Density tells us how tightly matter is packed together. The density of an object makes it float or sink in water. When the density of the object is greater than the density of water, the object will sink. But when the density of the object is lower than water, the object will float. In the next activity, I want you to identify whether the given materials float or sink in water. Remember, to float means to stay on top, while sink means to fall to the bottom of the water. Are you ready? Float in water and which materials sink based from the activity. These materials float in water: bottle cap, plastic fork, and pencil. These materials sink in water: staple wire, metal spoon, thumbtacks, and eraser. Now, why do ships float on water? The boat in the picture keeps itself afloat. The tendency of an object like a boat to float in liquids is called buoyancy. Buoyancy is the tendency of an object to float in liquid. Upthrust is the force which is responsible in making an object float or sink in the liquid. It is a push that always goes straight up against the direction of the gravity. We already discussed that some materials absorb water, some don't. Some materials float while others sink. However, there are materials that undergo decay and some don't. When a material undergoes decay, it becomes part of the environment and can be used again by living things. Its decaying process takes place with the help of bacteria and fungi, which are known as decomposers. Decomposers help break down dead plants and animals, returning substances and nutrients to the soil for plants to reuse in the form of natural fertilizer. Examples are leaves, animal wastes, food wastes, and hair. Non-decaying materials do not rot. They can cause clogged drainages as well as water and land pollution when irresponsibly thrown away. They cannot be used as resources for living things to grow, but they can be recycled and reused by people using technology. These are plastic bags, bottles, glass, metal, and rubber tires. This time, I want you to identify some materials that you can see at home, then classify them into decaying or non-decaying. Get ready with your pen and paper. Read each question very carefully, then choose only the letter to correct answer.